So today I'm going to be making a recipe from this book. This is The Cooking of Germany, Food of the World from Time Life magazine. This is one of my books that I collect these. I absolutely love them. This one, I talked about these on one of my food book reviews. This one was published in 1969, and I really love it because of like the pictures, and they give you really great history of the cuisine, and it's just my favorite recipe books, and now I own about 8 of them. So today I'm going to be making this recipe right here. This is a picture of it, and Königsberger Klopse. So they're poached meatballs in a lemon and caper sauce. That sounded really yummy to me, and I happen to have all of the ingredients, and I'm going to be serving it with a mashed cauliflower on the side instead of mashed potatoes. So let's get cooking. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is, this is just 2 slices of bread. You can use white bread that I tore into little pieces, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of heavy cream or whipping cream. Double cream, it all means the same thing. And I'm going to mix the bread really well. And I'm following the exact recipe. I have all of the ingredients except for the fresh parsley, because it's really hard to find in Taiwan, and also the cloves, so I didn't add those. And I will put the exact recipe in the description box below. For me to add the onions, this is just half a cup of chopped onions that I sauteed in a little bit of butter until they were slightly cooked through. And also the ground meat. So all that's in the bowl is the bread that I mixed with the heavy cream, and then I added, this is 1 pound of ground pork, half a teaspoon of lemon zest, 2 anchovies, 2 eggs, salt and pepper, and if you had parsley, you would add in 2 tablespoons of freshly chopped parsley. So now I'm going to give it all a mix. And it feels like a bit of a soft mixture, but actually these are going to be poached. So I think it's okay. So I went ahead and I brought some water up to a boil, and I added an onion, and I added 1 bay leaf and 1 teaspoon of salt. And then once it was at a boil, you actually drop it down, you boil it uncovered for 10 minutes. And now you're here at this point, and you drop the heat down to low, and we're ready to drop the meatballs in. So we're gonna make 8 pretty large meatballs. So my pot's not very large, and you can actually do this with 2 quarts of water. But I'm just gonna make do with what I have. The other change that I did is, so the ground meat mixture, it calls for like putting it through like a sausage grinder or food processor to get it really finely pureed. But I just didn't feel like doing that, so I didn't do it. So once you drop them in, because you see that they're really soft, actually don't move them. Give them a moment. To rest before you move them around. So I'll drop the rest of them in, and I'll give it about 2 minutes, and then I will move them around slightly. Okay. So they can kind of be moved a bit now. They look great. They almost look like dumplings, like meat dumplings, delicious. So they're on low right now, a low simmer, and I'm actually gonna simmer this uncovered for 20 minutes, and I'll show you what they look like when they're done. Meanwhile, I have just a big pot of water coming up to a boil, and that's gonna be for my mashed cauliflower. If you want the recipe for this, I actually have already made this on another recipe when I made chicken gremolata, and I served it with mashed cauliflower. So I will put the link to that video below, and that has my mashed cauliflower recipe on it. So I'll see you back in 20 minutes. It's been 20 minutes and this is what they look like. I tasted the poaching liquid and it is very, very delicious. We're actually going to use that. We're going to use 3 cups of it because now we're going to remove the meatballs and just cover them and set them aside. And then we're going to use the liquid. So I'll show you the next step. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a skillet hot. This is the one that had the onions sauteing. And I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of butter. And I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of flour once it's melted. And that is the beginning of a roux. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cook this roux off for about 30 seconds. Just to take the raw taste of the flour out. And then I am going to add 3 cups of the delicious poaching liquid. And it's already salted. And then we're going to add some more different kinds of seasonings to it. Okay, this is 2 cups. I'm going to get 1 more in there. And all of the little flour, right now it's a little lumpy, but that will totally break up. Don't you worry. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix it around until it thickens, and then I'll show you the next step. So it's thickened slightly. Now I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of lemon juice and 1 tablespoon of capers. And then we're going to actually let the sauce cook for about 15 minutes. Got a little... Okay, now this is where we start gilding the lilies. This is 1 egg yolk. It actually calls for 2, but I really think that that's not really necessary, and I want to save my eggs, but in the recipe I will write 2. And I'm going to add some of the liquid to this, and I'm going to whisk very quickly. That way it doesn't like kind of cook the egg yolk. If you do it very quickly, add some, see? And then it doesn't like curdle the egg yolk, and now you can pour it all in. That's all, it's pretty easy. And we're also going to add 2 tablespoons of sour cream, and then we're going to add the meatballs. Eyeball the sour cream, 1, 2. I'm going to warm this through. Add the meatballs back in, let them reheat, and then we're ready to serve. And I'll show you what that looks like. Looking good. So obviously this would be amazing served with like potato dumplings or potato pancakes or mashed potatoes.